Hi. Fresh off the celebration of our nation's birth, you may have noticed a number of our national news media outlets shifting their focus back to a more domestic agenda. It's important to remember that half a world away, there are still millions of Ukrainians fighting for their lives as well as maintaining the independence of their nation from Mother Russia. But part of the First Amendment allows the Fourth and Fifth Estates, the print and broadcast media, to be fickle and to shift their focus and opinion as they choose. While I've never visited the country, I have learned to stop using the word "the" in front of Ukraine and the correct pronunciation of its capital city, Kyiv. But more decidedly, watching this battle play out with a superior military force in the much smaller nation of Ukraine, I've come to the conclusion that there are no chickens in Kyiv. Remembering America's own revolution, when we were taught that the plucky colonists took on the British Empire, then the world's strongest economic and military force all by themselves, that wasn't entirely true. The French leaned in with financial assistance and occasional naval blockades. Our Native American neighbors taught us skills in ambushing and guerrilla warfare, as well as tracking tactics, preferring the devil they did know versus the devil they didn't know. And the English themselves hired 30,000 German Hessian soldiers to come in to help them tamp down the rebellion. Eventually, Britain decided there were more important battles to conquer and more important places of the world to strengthen their empire, and they would walk away, returning one more time to try to put down America in the War of 1812. We would not have another battle on American soil, however, until the American Civil War, which cost us more lives on both sides than any American military conflict. In 1984, a movie, Red Dawn, would spring on the American consciousness as a blockbuster, bringing Russian attacks along with Cubans and Nicaraguan Contras onto American soil. The country would be divided into several regions, including several occupied police states, and the civilian population would come quickly into compliance. Wolverines! A ragtag group of 10 high school athletes, self-naming themselves the Wolverines, would stage successful guerrilla attacks against superior forces of Russian, Cuban, and Nicaraguan troops. I still smile when I remember some of those battle victories. Thankfully now, at least for show, our leaders of the G7, who recently met in the German Alps, have promised additional aid to the Ukraine and its President Vladimir Zelensky. Though we certainly do have our own domestic challenges here at home, I believe that billions in new aid is warranted and needed. The Russian winters, which will also be in the Ukraine, all too soon, will make it almost impossible to supply the front lines some 1,200 miles from Kyiv. Those supplies need to be en route today. We need to be considering, if Vladimir Putin is successful in Ukraine, what is his next target? He's already made clear his intentions of reassembling the old historic Russian Empire, which would include Prussia, which includes all of Poland and Warsaw, and much of the Eastern Bloc countries. And if you look even further ahead, Alaska, which was also once owned by Russia, is only 50 miles from Russian shores across the Bering Straits. We either stop Putin now, or we find out who's next. With one opinion, I'm Bill Crane.